Yeah, who could ever forget killing Huey? But we're getting a glimpse into that absolute for sure PTSD that every surviving tribute would go through for the rest of their life. Anyone sneaking up on them, anything they ever kill in the same manner, it doesn't go away.
Saw some turkeys on the way here. Crossed right in front of me like I wasn't even there.
Aw, I mean, obviously you're no Chris, but you're also no Luke. I can make this joke because I have two older brothers who are also 7 and 9 years older than me, which is weird. Liam, should we hang out? Commiserate over that game they used to play with the pillows where one would hit you in the head and the other in the legs and you do a flip all the way around sideways and pillows still make us nervous? Yeah, could be fun. Love? Dangerous love? Confusing love? All of the above love?
You two have a lot of warming up to do before showtime.
Woody Harrelson, the guy you get if you need someone who will just go ahead and say the thing.
It must be a fragile system if it can be brought down by just a few berries.
You love a hero who can match wits with a big bad smarty.
At what point did he realize the depth of your indifference towards him?
What a devastating way to word that. Indifference is almost worse than disgust.
I don't want to kill you. I want us to be friends.
I kind of believe him, and I feel like the new movie is going to humanize him in a way that backs that up. That's going to make me mad. It was the second one. It was the dangerous one.
What happened to Senna?
Oh, dear. He's a fashion star. You're his muse.
Dirty trick to make us think that Zoe's dad had to fly away before Snow asked him, "Are you going to go my way?" And Cinna called him an American woman. Testament to the sheer power of Stanley Tucci's sex appeal that he pulls that absolutely ridiculous hair off without a hiccup.
Uh-oh.
Ingenuity. What's that line about the trains always being on time? Right. Somehow, no matter how fascist and evil the future world gets, public transport is still better than in modern-day USA. Weird time to complain when we just did Bullet Train, a movie that proves you don't need a fascist government to have the trains run on time. Anyway, give me that train.
I said, enjoy it, Katniss. You've earned it by killing people.
The level at which Effie is out of touch with the reality of the districts and the games is always so dang perfect, especially as we start to see her slowly understand through this movie.
Smile, 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 smile. Stand up straight, you're on camera.
Although to be fair, I'm hard on Effie. Like, she's supposed to be unbearable, obviously, but just for a second consider her life. She's in charge of the tributes from District 12, meaning that 99.9% of the kids she's gotten to know at all are dead. All but 3, in fact, and we're on the 75th games. Not only would completely deluding yourself about what you're doing be totally warranted, without a little cognitive dissonance, I'm not sure you'd survive. This victory tour, for example, it's one of her main jobs, and it's set up as this fun celebration and reward for the Capitol's benevolence in letting there be a victor at all. And that's how Effie treats it, when in reality, this is a further method of control, dominance, propaganda, and a reminder of who may have killed the children from their district. It's insane and also genius, and whether Effie chose this life, career, job, or not, she's stuck with it now, and her attitude is honestly pretty believable.
So if you can stop looking at me like I'm wounded, then I can quit acting like it.
A cake decorator and a poet? You better watch out, Gale. Chills every time. Yo, it's like, you know they're awful, but it's easy to forget just how awful, and the speed at which this old man is executed is jarring every time.
This trip doesn't end when you get back home. You never get off this train.
Pretty brutal that Katniss hadn't figured that out until now.
Thank you.
One day, I'm gonna volunteer, just like you did.
Huh? It's almost like presenting state violence as noble will have a negative effect on kids. Weird.
Peter, will you stay with me?
Always.
Look, I've always been Team Gale, but Pete, it really works on you on this one.
Everyone at school wears it like this now, Grandpa.
Even a dystopian future's fascist government can't stop kids from thinking rebellion coiffs are cool.
Our two lethal lovers, my favorite expression.
All the sniveling and vile people playing along with this next level evil, and I still love this man. We must protect the Tooch at all costs.
Chins up, smiles on. I'm talking to you, Katniss.
She doesn't even have to look. Effie is intolerable, but she knows her victors.
This is all for you.
It's cozy.
Attitude.
Man, at least they're building a rapport. Ew, no, absolutely not. Does he die? I hope he dies. Hands to yourselves, people.
It's for when you're full.
It makes you sick.
Great world building. And look, this isn't even unheard of in our current culture, and I'm not talking about eating disorders, but something about the tasty little pink shot makes it more devastating. It shows both the over-the-top decadence, but also the care that went into the cute presentation makes it seem like it's almost a type of delicacy.
This
is Plutarch Heavensby, head game maker.
It's funny because we were just talking about Along Came Polly, and I'd forgotten that Jennifer Aniston, aka Polly, was even in that movie because Philip Seymour Hoffman is the star. But now here I am totally forgetting that Hoffman was in this, and my week just got better. Absolute legend. May he rest in peace and humor and absolute dramatic talent at every corner.
Still, if you abandon your moral judgment, it can be fun.
Hey, that's how I get through watching the Super Bowl, JK. We always go to the movies. He's a murderous authoritarian, but the dude's color scheme is on point.
Go on inspiring us every day for as long as you may live.
And it takes a special skill to make a toast also a mortal threat.
What kind of dress is she gonna wear? Floggings? What's the cake gonna look like? Executions?
Really wouldn't expect anything less from this Mephistophelian genius. There's a $10 word for you. Can I do a CinemaWins word of the week for my own word? Yeah, let's do it.
Do you love me?
Kale, you know how I feel about you.
As I've gotten older, I've realized it's important to acknowledge that unless you've told them verbatim, no, nobody knows how you feel about them.
Welcome to District 12.
Such a great unexpected moment. Nobody is safe. The government doesn't care about any of you. And it's so on point that they're unironically called peacekeepers. It's literally the opposite of what they do. Brutal.
She interfered with a peacekeeper. I never said she was smart.
Despite his drunken buffoon veneer, Haymitch knows how to play the game better than most.
She's an agitator.
The way he says that like it's the worst thing you can be, as if agitator means mass murderer.
Clear the square!
Tight delivery. I would indeed clear said square. Look, he just saved everyone. The man is entitled to a wee nip.
What can you see?
Hope.
Uh-oh, but the hope is what kills you, that and authoritarian governments.
You don't have to protect me. Or Mom. We're with you.
Solidarity, baby. You love to see it. I mean, until the next movie, that is. Then you hate to see it.
Her entire species has to be eliminated.
Yikes, man. Good luck being redeemed in a future prequel movie with lines like that.
Could live 100 lifetimes and never deserve that boy.
Correct, and to be clear, just because Peeta cares for Katniss doesn't mean she should love him. She doesn't owe him a romantic relationship, but she still doesn't deserve our adorable little Baker.
Nobody decent ever wins the game.
Nobody ever wins the games, period.
This is what Haymitch was really talking about earlier, that they never get off the train. Surviving isn't winning, and I don't know which fate is worse. Survivor's guilt is a real thing. And again, in the context of dividing people, it's pretty genius to make the survivors rich.
As always, ladies first.
Just a touch of pity on Effie's face really nails home how insanely unfair this is. Although with those dragon teeth heels, I think I should be having sympathy for her.
Show them we are a team. And I can't just... Thank you.
I honestly love this moment because I was very much expecting something snide from Haymitch, but it's all just genuine, and even though Effie is still just barely scratching the surface of bare minimum empathy, it's hopeful and vindicating that even the unshakable Capital Stooge is shaken. The books go into some of Katniss's inner dialogue about the servants in the Capitol, but the movie just puts them there slightly out of focus, alluding to a dark underbelly of punitive enslavement. Freaking Jack Reacher will be on the field, forget it, just quit now. But also, they're siblings? Some Strauss and Fairchild von Waldenberg vibes.
No, she's not gonna make it.
Well, Katniss, I just hope when she goes quickly. She's actually a wonderful lady.
We do all love Mags, and this is an interesting moment because at this point Haymitch knows the plan, knows that at least half of the tributes could technically survive, so while what he's saying can be taken as trying to snap Katniss out of her pragmatic bloodlust, he's also slyly hinting at her to not give up hope.
Everybody always seems to know my secrets before I know them myself.
Unfortunately, I think that's true.
It's fun that he's just coming right out and saying it, but the tone makes us and her think he's just being a jerk.
Here they come. From District 12, our favorite, well, or my favorite.
And he's my favorite. Got him with the fiery eye contact.
Now that the whole world wants to sleep with you.
I don't think that the whole
I wasn't
world...
talking to you. You want zip?
Catty side eye. Every facial expression is so money, but Katniss's is flawless. Jenna Malone is always memorable, but to me, she's Donnie Darko's girlfriend, Gretchen, but she also was Mary from Saved, which makes this whole interaction even funnier. Way to go, Mary! Also, fun fact, this wasn't a closed set and a random guy got startled by topless Jenna. Great self-confidence, Mary. Sibling teamwork, Folger style. Love the hints for us with these looks. Sure, it could just be a typical, oh, she's coming to team up with us. But once you know, Beatty's glance to Wyra says, see, she really is special. Just in that she's coming over to help them when they wouldn't be the most useful allies necessarily.
You should move your hands downward.
It's actually a decent tip. Maintaining downward pressure is the important part though. But honestly, she should just teach them how to make a bow drill. It's way easier and they'll avoid the blisters. Can we get Amanda Plummer and Jeffrey Wright doing more stuff together? Honey Bunny and Felix Leiter buddy cop movie. He's all stealth good cop and she's cussing everyone out while murdering them. Could be good. Love that even this hologram practice sequence is thrilling and fun to watch while reminding us that Katniss is absolutely lethal with a bow. I mean, I don't see her increasing the speed of her arrows like Abigail Whistler, but she's still pretty good. See, they get it.
Peter, how are we gonna kill these people?
Much of the first Hunger Games for Katniss was avoiding killing good people and being forced to kill bad people. This time, there are a lot more good people, which is kind of the subtext that's glossed over in the first one, especially in the outcome, that ultimately every one of them is a victim in some fashion. So right now, she's dealing with the idea that she has to stay alive long enough to get Peeta out, which means killing lots of good people, and that's brutal. Kind of a dick move, Peeta, although I guess he knew Katniss didn't care about impressing them, she'd already earned the tribute's respect. Because she's a well-written protagonist, there are moments when I can't stand Katniss, but dang, this rules, badass good girl. That laugh is both hilarious and nightmare-inducing. Is there nothing this man can't do? There's our Mary again, perfectly cast Jenna Malone.
You would have been the most beautiful bride.
I mean, she's trying so hard.
You know me.
Well, you know I wouldn't believe you even if you did.
When she plays the game, she plays it.
Sit down. Take a bow.
Well, P dead, but what a dress to sign off on.
If it weren't for the baby.
Again, genius, except that if the Capitol can eke out the games with Katniss dying and no rebellion, it's the perfect level of don't mess with us. Sadly for them, that's not the case. Game recognized game. Even more solidarity.
Oh, you both deserved so much better.
Thank you, Evie.
I like that Katniss is blown away by her compassion, and Elizabeth Banks' praises don't really get sung enough. This entire character is a scenery-chewing nightmare, and the way she breaks her down like this elevates the harsh reality of this moment. Her sincere empathy and compassion for them is even more moving knowing where she started. She still has no clue what's going on, or even that Snow is evil probably, but she can recognize injustice.
Remember who the real enemy is.
Is it communism or capitalism? Feels like maybe it's all the tankies' faults to me. Oh, he means Snow. Gotcha. Also, early reveal shadowing. Yeah, that's it.
Let's watch her get her hands dirty first.
Philip Seymour Hoffman was born to play the double agent. I just get the feeling that he could stab me in the chest with a terrifying grin and then whisper in my ear that he's on my side, and I'd fully believe him and apologize for getting heart blood in his shoes. Gotta hand it to Snow, that's a genius way to get in her head right before ascending. Conversely, I could see abruptly filling her with rage as perhaps not being as well thought out as he assumes. He's playing the odds. Oh, how I love a hidden aspect ratio shift. It was something to behold in theaters because you don't notice it and then all of a sudden everything is bigger and scarier. The camera is moving faster, it's chaos. The one thing the books and the film nail is the build up to the start of the games. It's just always unnerving. And sometimes the movie doesn't do the book justice, but this scene kills it. We get an idea of the frenetic energy in the book, but watching this is pure terror and anxiety inducing. Finnick carrying Mags is adorable, and there's not a lot in this movie that's adorable besides Peeta, so I'll take it. Ha! Beatty's lessons already coming in handy. Did you see the shimmer?
Be careful, there's a force field up there.
Dude's got jokes. Near-death experience jokes.
Someday I want to love someone that much.
Doesn't matter how much you try to control it, your kids are gonna like what they like. I'm sorry, you had Brother Day himself, and this is all he gets? Jokes aside, that's not Lee Pace, it's actually Daniel Bernhardt, Keanu's buddy, Agent Johnson, and Kirill.
I think it's a spile.
Looks like a wine thingamajig to me, but hey, I guess I'd be dead. Great moment to remind us that Katniss is still just a human. She takes on more than she can handle, like the rest of us. They're so sweaty. What is this, a Top Gun aircraft carrier? This is done so well. You don't even have to know what's about to happen to know that things are about to go sideways. Throughout the movie, it becomes clearer and clearer who's in on the plan. We now know for sure that Mags is, since she sacrificed herself, knowing that Katniss would never go on without Peeta, and Finnick needed to carry him. So, self-sacrifice. And Haymitch got his wish. That cannon sound lets us know it was pretty quick. I'm out. Someone put me out of my misery. Listen, Gale would have sliced and diced a dozen of those jerks by now, but I do love it when our fabulous Baker boy throws down. We don't spend much time with the Morphlings at all, but just this quick shot of her eyes opening is incredible and sells why they were able to win. And even more of a dead giveaway that lots of the victors are working to protect Peeta and Katniss. She just threw herself into the fire. Sushi! That J-Law apparently hated even though it was sushi-grade snapper? Get it together, Raven. JK, it's just a constant nightmare. Take a nap, get burned by some fog. Wash off the blisters and boils, you get monkey mutts. Escape some baboons and have a little snack, floods. It's never not a nightmare.
I thought it was water. It turned out to be blood.
Awful! Survive a flood, blood rain.
I got them out for you!
Something about Joanna's involvement makes the revolution feel so much more tangible. Clearly she isn't doing anything for Katniss out of admiration.
the clock.
You're all idiots, but Iris is smart, and if you feel like it's a little silly that Katniss is the only one who figures it out, she's also the only one who ever got a bird's eye view. A brutal way to learn you always need to keep an eye on the physically weakest one of the group, pretty much in any scenario. Saving that girl you don't really like, who you ultimately think you're better than and you are more deserving of her boyfriend and might steal him.
Let's see how they tell Tom now.
He's really selling being a bad guy. Again, extreme commitment to the cause.
You okay?
Believable. Horrifying and brutal. I'm one of those people who think psychological torture like this wouldn't work on me, just like, don't let it bother you. Obviously, I'm wrong and also an idiot. Please don't torture me.
The whole country loves your sister. There would be riots in the damn capital.
You don't say.
You can't hurt me. There's no one left that I love.
This movie can be a real downer. Solid point, though.
Keep me alive for the next 6 hours? That would be extremely helpful.
Everyone's got jokes.
I don't know what kind of deals you made with Haymitch, but he made me promises too.
Classic Haymitch. Diabolical. You sneaky sneak you. I mean, he's got a point, though. It's honestly selfish for Katniss to want Peeta to live. I get it. She doesn't want to be a leader, and also she's fairly convinced at this point that if she survives, Snow will find another way to kill her.
Unless what? You and Peeta get married?
Unless nothing now.
A guy with a pistol at the end of the exit tunnel would probably work fine, so Peeta dying to save her would be totally wasted in her mind.
Nobody needs me.
I do.
Love, I guess. Still Team Gale.
We'll toast when it's done. In the meantime, make yourself comfortable.
Dude just walks away all nonchalant, right in front of Snow. Sucker has no idea. Amazing. Still messing with our sense of allegiance, so once you know she's removing her tracker and covering her in blood, it all lines up. And it's a smart play for sure, even if the lack of cannon fire may have tipped them off, but in the heat of the moment, it would be easy to miss.
Remember who the real enemy is.
Life-saving callback. See now, why didn't Truman think of this?
Heavens be!
It's still unclear what's going on, but the hints are there. This is a weird moment because it feels like maybe it should be triumphant, maybe she's getting out, or maybe she's dead, or maybe Snow has just had it and is finally ending her without the ruse of the games. Use what you got, resourcefulness.
See, this is why no one lets you make the plans.
But yeah, that's fair.
This is the revolution, and you are the Mockingjay.
Gotta give him credit for not beating around the bush. Dude lays it out clean and simple.
Yes!
That was a gnarly slap.
There is no District 12. It's all gone.
I've never Ender's gamed anyone before, so I can't say for sure, but her turn from sadness to anger feels pretty real, even if it was a little fast. Ironically, anger is also a good coping mechanism. Also, killer cliffhanger. I don't like Mockingjay nearly as much as this movie, and I still want to go watch Mockingjay right now. Only took me 6 years to come back to this series, and I gotta tell you, I forgot how good this movie is. I rewatched my Hunger Games video and also forgot how good that movie was, too, but for a story that on the surface is, let's just do Hunger Games again, it really works. The first half is immensely compelling with the basically empty Victor's Village in District 12 giving us a reality check that just because Katniss and Peeta survived doesn't mean anything is better. And then once we hit the games with the aspect ratio maxing out the screen, we're transported to a new world that's different than the first, but still crushes your spirit the way the 74th games did. And obviously escaping the games before the end opens up the universe in a way that was super surprising in the book and the movie. It's less of a complete story because of how open-ended it is, but they still do a good job of closing the loop on the games. Most of the victors are dead, Peeta is screwed, and Katniss is mad. Yes! And it's grim as ever. Public floggings, a baboon biting someone's throat, poison boils, Cinna gets disappeared. I'd forgotten how hard this movie goes. When they kill the first guy who throws his fingers up, it's brutal and just keeps going from there. There's something incredibly jarring about how quickly they black bag the guy that Thread replaces. And like 7-year-olds read these books. I guess kids are tough these days. I talked about capitalism in the first movie's video, and boy did some of you disagree, and that's fine. But the theme that really stood out to me rewatching Catching Fire is how much Katniss is a pawn used by both sides. Obviously I'm down with the revolution, but they still take away her autonomy. Snow forces her to be a corporate shill, but the rebellion forces her to be a symbol. They keep her out of the loop. They make her the figurehead poster girl for everything. She has no choice. I think in part it's because she's so young, and in part it's because Katniss kinda does whatever she wants. It's sort of her most reliable trait. Is hanging an effigy of Seneca Crane a smart move? No, it's stupid as hell and risks a terrible accident happening to you. But she always thinks she knows what's best, and it's probably because she's 17 years old. And I want to be clear, plenty of 17-year-olds have their stuff together and are a billion times smarter than me, but she's written like a 17-year-old. She's brash and impulsive, constantly thinks she has it all figured out, has bananas hormones, makes everything about her, hates it when everything is about her. Very much 17-year-old Leah. No one forced me to be the front man of a revolution. All this to say, it makes sense why the rebellion keeps her out of the loop, but they still end up using her like the Capitol. The books and movies expand this idea as we move forward. It just hit me hard this time because much like all the sacrificial lambs in the games, she's technically a child. And even in fictional books/movies, it's the children who suffer the most from war. I'm against children being murdered, in case that was unclear. Anyway, the performances are all fantastic. Just like the first movie, Elizabeth Banks stood out to me this time. Even in her minimal screen time, she really sells Effie as a human character. So, will I ever do Mockingjay? I guess you'll have to wait another 6 to 12 years. But also, I'm not intrigued about the new movie that's coming out this weekend, Ballad of Songbirds Snakes. It's a weird George R.R. Martin title, but Julia got hyped about it, and so I think maybe I'm hyped, I don't know. Here's to hoping it doesn't suck. Next week, something much more lighthearted and only slightly about death.
Son of a bitch! You're a liar! You're a liar!